This is London with Bitcoin Spike, VIP trader. Hope you're all doing well. Had a chance to look at that disclaimer. We're going to talk about the market real quickly and NVIDIA and Tesla, and we're going to talk about Bitcoin. I have Dogecoin over here. Don't know why, but hey, it's Dogecoin. The Doge will make a move. I don't know, guys. I don't know. We'll talk about it. Let's dig into NVIDIA. We don't mind Doge. I mean, it started the whole crypto craze. A lot of you wouldn't be in crypto if it weren't for Doge. Let's dig into the details. Let's talk about the move that NVIDIA is making. It's a nice move. It's up and over. It's out over a level of resistance. We wanted to see this on NVIDIA, and you can just tell NVIDIA is in a position where higher is just higher, guys. We're looking forward to that spectacular move that I talked about. In terms of the potential for NVIDIA, it would be one to write in the history books if you were to have traded this. Please pay attention. You'll recall when NVIDIA was down around the low, preceding support hit on what time frame? That hourly. True fact. I want you to pay attention to one thing though. The fact that we've recovered up and out, and remind yourselves, how did we catch the bottom? Guys, we caught the bottom with a very small micro, an expanding broadening formation at the bottom. These can serve as a bottom, and it did in line with that hourly across, that lateral cross. But remember that we projected. This is the important thing as you look at this. As we were finding a bottom formation and pattern here on NVIDIA, remind yourselves the fact that we were talking about the fact this would be a spectacular move. Right? It would just be a spectacular move. Not only could we expect to move back to this level of resistance, and now the fact that NVIDIA today has broken through this lateral, guys, move to the left, it's got a lot of attention in terms of this top line formation here. What does this mean? This is what's spectacular about it. If we were, to the extent that the traders right now are pushing and directing, guys, they're lower. This is a lower entry that is just looking like it could potentially kill it in the market. Pay attention. Lower entry, we're looking at a 30% move to get back to that level of resistance. This is where things get spectacular. Pay attention. The fact that the 30% move, that amplitude could actually repeat to the upside. Guys, this is where you're looking at NVIDIA, and people who are measuring this are like, I just don't know if we could actually get a move this wild. It's a big move. Looking at the overall move potential from the downside, guys, that's a 60+%, 62% move from the downside. Hello, that's a big trade. Yeah, that's a spectacular move. So when we look at the formation, this is what I want to tell you now. Looking at it and projecting it from where? From here. Boom. Guys, it's a highly liquid asset, so we pay attention to the patterns. We want to incorporate it into our Bitcoin trades. If she rocks up to 650 bucks, guys, that's like a trade of a year. That's a beautiful, beautiful trade to be able to look back at this and say, no, I traded this from right here. Boom. So far, you are already outperforming the market, quote unquote, guys. This is a huge, huge move. This is one of the biggest moves, if not the biggest move that NVIDIA has had aside from, pay attention, aside from the huge, guys, lift that we got. Look at this. You need to give yourself some credit, and we need to all take some credit on this. This move was 30%. Now, on that open, that pop, it was 20% when we really outperformed in terms of earnings. Looking at that 30%, now you would have had to catch that surprise in the market on fundamentals on earnings. So pay attention. This specific move that we're trying to make right here is one of the most legitimately large, guys, the largest move that NVIDIA has made, right? It just is. It reminds of this preceding structure here. I'm just going to tell you, it's nice to see the potential for a move such as this. Congratulations to anyone who caught this specific move at the bottom or any move like this, okay? Any move like this on anything that you're trading. We're looking and projecting along with the rest of the market. Guys, it's not free and clear. It is one of those situations where this was the hot zone, that specific broadening wedge at the bottom, that broadening expansion, we'll just call it, guys, a broadening, essentially, we love these on Bitcoin is the issue. We love to find these on Bitcoin. They trade very well on Bitcoin. And amidst this pickup here, it wasn't an easy pickup because we had that specific bear flag along that level of support. Let's revisit this. Look at this. This specific broadening bottom formation had a bear flag that caught. Bam. That was a heck of a pickup. Congratulations, everyone who picked it up. Just have to comment because we had a great day up, out, and over on NVIDIA. Does it mean we're free and clear up, out, and it's over? No, but this is just developing into a really, really nice move. Congratulations. Have to say it again. Let's talk about Tesla really quickly. Let's go to the 6 hourly or let's say the 6-4 or the, let's talk again about the daily. Let's talk about another phenomenal potential move. We want to structure into the patterns. Get the patterns. If you trade equities, that's fine, guys. If you don't, look at the pattern. I want to bring this over into what we can hope to get in crypto, in Bitcoin, okay? We get a lot of movement early in terms of the open and for the close. Looking at this specific bull flag, right? Just to review the patterns, we get some really nice patterns on these equities. This is Tesla. Move to the upside, downward sloping channel. Bam. We caught this move? Yes. Now, if we can repeat this, you have to give credit to this market, guys. You're being shown some phenomenal patterns. You have to give some credit to this market. If we can get into this hot zone, this green zone, guys, and if we can get up and out of this specific zone here, let's compare that to what we just kind of measured. Guys, at 60%, give me a break on NVIDIA overall. Take a look at Tesla from the current price, 40%. Now, I will personally back off a little bit from this level of interaction here and say, well, you know what? I'd prefer to get in this zone and have a bit of a higher probability entry in this zone, potentially heavier, maybe at a multiple heavier than I would look at getting in something if I'm in some crosshairs in terms of a target to the downside and a target to the upside. I don't want to play this specific. I don't want to play this gray zone, bam, 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 too heavily. I don't want to wind into that. Me personally, just looking at the patterns, right? I want to get, and if we can get some sort of a well-structured pattern in here to where we can justify a multiple larger entry into this, and guys, if we can get a nice bull flag breakout again, that could even parlay 35+%. Even parlay into, and this is just where it's going to get ridiculous. I'm going to tell you this. Now, mind yourselves. We have some obstacles to the left, but pay attention. Pay attention on Tesla. This could get, I said NVIDIA would be spectacular. This could get ridiculous, okay? Look and pay attention as to, okay, now we have the notion that we could get ridiculous here. Look at the specific inverse head and shoulders. You've got the left shoulder, you've got the head, the right shoulder. I'm going to mark this as a specific curvature and handle Y. From a technical perspective, based upon back testing and based upon what the market is producing right now, we see a lot of the specific, and let's pay attention here, guys, we see a lot of the specific moves here from the curvature and handles that have this preceding zone in terms of an obstacle. We see a lot of them right now in the market. So if you're trading a lot, and I know that you are, just pay attention to the fact that this is just yet another repeat of what we have repeatedly seen in the markets, right? It's just a big deal. From the current price, potential 100% move, okay, from the point of breakout, we could be looking at like an 80% move. So this technically could outdo NVIDIA. It should require some degree of a fundamental cooperation in terms of, guys, some specifics we'd like to see come down the pipe on a company like Tesla in terms of some difficulty that they're having with, and not to naysay, but in terms of the Cybertruck and otherwise, we're going to need some accompanying fundamentals. Maybe the fact that interest rates could be pausing or stopping. Maybe some additional fundamentals like that could kick in, but we'd love to see that domino effect, bam, up and out, then up and of the flag, then up, out, and over that specific curvature and handle. You guys got it. So that could be just a ridiculous move. We're going to call it what it is. Could be a ridiculous move. Now, looking at the curvature and handle on Bitcoin, why do we look at the other charts? You guys got it. Curvature and handle, bam. Ascending triangle on the wicks, but we have that curvature and that handle. Bulls reconfirmed at the preceding level of resistance is on the 15-minute. Okay, the 15-minute. Now, where are you at specifically now? We have a breakout in process attempting to, and I'm going to go ahead and raise this to this preceding hurdle level here, but you see the curvature and handle is featured here. Do you see how Tesla, looking at the pattern formation, the dynamics on that macro assist us on the specific 15-minute time frame? Bravo, okay? Similar pattern trajectory here in terms of, or dynamic here in terms of the curvature and the handle, and you just see the fact that the market is, and we're seeing a lot of expression from equities in terms of the specifics for the patterning dynamics, the technical dynamics. We're seeing that flow into our crypto trades. So the more practice we can get on that fact, looks like New York has just closed out. Congratulations to everyone who's trading, and nice to see that volatility for the day. It looks like, what do we have? A nice pickup on, if you're micro trading that, pick up on, again, Tesla, I'm looking for that green zone on the bull flag. That's our go zone. And NVIDIA breaking that preceding top is a big deal for that spectacular move that we may get. Glad we found that bottom. Not easy to say, is it? Glad we found that bottom. Technically, we found that bottom on Tesla, didn't we, huh? Yeah, we're pretty good at that, huh? Congratulations to whom? I won't brag. Congratulations to everyone who makes these trades possible. That's the biggest thing that I always say. It's not all about us. I really appreciate everyone who makes these trades possible. That's the bottom line, guys. Institutionally and otherwise in the markets, the guys who are really safeguarding and ensuring the technical performance of the markets, that's where the credit goes in my book, okay? And I'm on record continually for saying that. That's the bottom line. So appreciate all of that, guys. Looking at the specific curvature and the handle formation here, we see the breakout required is here. Okay, it's going to be at that pivot there after the curvature, in guys, and preceding that handle formation. So when we have an obstacle to the left as such, we're just creating a potential grind zone that can cause some frustration in this area. We are currently along that $37,500. 37.5 is what? It is going to be our litmus test, long over, short under. I just tell you, the key critical component, I'm going to tell you, if you're going to be awake for it, pay attention. If you're going to be awake for it, the specific near $38,000 zone is your go zone, okay? It just is. If you're going to be awake for it and catch it, it can assist you in having a 37.5 threshold over or under for two reasons, because you're actively participating in the market while we're at 37.5. You're not going to miss it. You're on it right now. And to the extent that you could pre-position for let's say a breakout to the upside, which could be a touch catchy. We would expect a breakout, hopefully clean and get some momentum, boom, push to the upside. So we have, I'd say, two zones here, but just do understand, the last thing you want is to turn around and, oh, I missed the 38,000 breakout. We have that 37.5 critical zone right now in play to try and let's say just secure a position, a pre-position, if we're over 37.5 in line with this $38,000. I would love to just say, don't worry, you have time. Okay, you'll have time between 37.5 and the 38,000. You'll just have time. I'd love to be able to say, don't worry about it. You'll have time for some additional structuring in here, and it'll be a much simpler game. Unfortunately, the market is not always super, guys, you guys know that. It's not always overly accommodating, nor does it need to be. It produces extraordinarily well. So it can add the challenge at any level that it wants to. Would we prefer it? I don't know, guys. We don't mind it, right? We don't mind it. And traders who can to proficiently interact with the market should never mind a good challenge. In terms of the hours, though, that are required in crypto, do pay attention, and that's kind of an unnatural struggle at times. So to the extent that the 37.5, and I mean the hours, will you be awake? Crypto is 24/7, 365, and looking at that break, if it were to happen in an overseas session, we would certainly have appreciated the opportunity, and I'm stating such now, the opportunity to have participated or secured a entry at this 37.5, long if over, and I'm going to say short if under. That's just the bottom line here. I don't want you guys to be too cautious at all about any type of a short position. If you can identify the level, go for it. That's going to be our 2023 and 2024 real call to action in terms of the skill set to develop in the market is the ability to say, that's fine, it's 37.5, good. I'm going to be short under, I'm going to be long over. Challenge yourself to operate tactically in the market, be able to execute over a level or under a level. Find your rules. We'll go through some more of those after you guys have really dug into it and experienced the challenge, and you're already finding some rules, some pattern, wave formation accounts that are going to be extremely beneficial long term. And we're working on some technical strategies and just some we say I guess not just technical strategies, but some real deployment of technology into this issue of owning something over or under a specific line of interest that you may have. We have. And guys, we did on the lines. It doesn't go without saying that we had a nice fan reversal here, a nice fan reversal where resistances were flipped to support. You guys have a perfect chart on that in the back. Just mark 38K for Bitcoin. Now, it's one thing to say, well, that's the level that we need to beat. That's one thing to say that. Anyone can say, well, we have to beat 38,000. I'm interested in how you're going to position yourself, okay, before 38,000, right? If we fail this pattern, I'm interested in how you'll be positioned, okay, for a failure. I'm interested in, guys, in whether or not you'll have flash trades, carry trades on this specific pattern formation. Will you enter into one trade? If you are planning to take partial profits up and over on your trades, will you enter into just one large trade, take part of your profits? Will you enter into two trades, close one trade completely? These are the types of things I just want you, if you've paid attention for a while now in terms of flash trades, you know, the quick take trades. You may take a trade in a few minutes. You may take a trade in a few hours. You may take it in a few days, a few weeks, and a few months. How are you going to approach this level after the 200 weekly? Right? We saw a 20% rise in the price, and we talked about that move for 2 months being long over that specific level. We talked about the multiple levels of orders that you could have that would be for profits taken for the day, for the week, and for the month, right? So that you could tier in your participation in the market and be satisfied with your returns. That's the goal, for you to be happy in the market and enjoy the market and enjoy your profits in the market. So let's pay attention to the 37.5 as the precursor for the specific $38,000 threshold. I would pay attention to the price levels. Let the price do the talking along with the patterns. Let your I'll just say, let your specific oscillators on your different time frames obviously provide that confirmation that we'll be looking for. Not a favorite pattern of anyone. That's kind of a tucked in sideways trajectory, a bit of an odd constriction. When we see this, we've seen it before, haven't we? You guys pay attention to this. We have seen this before, haven't we? Normally, it's fashioned a bit differently at an angle, but we see kind of this bow tie pattern. Just interesting, right? We're going to pay attention to that. We see the constriction and the expansion. So Bitcoin's kind of up to something. You guys agree? Bitcoin is kind of up to something. No, we have a constriction. Let me draw this with a little bit of a different slant to it. Hope you're all doing well and having a great start to your week. That's the idea. I hope you're doing well. It's going to be a good couple of weeks that we are going to be able to close out fourth quarter on. We want to set some records. We're not quite there yet, and we want to try and set some records personally. We hope that you're trying to set your own records as we've had some good price action. That's a legitimate statement from me to you. I hope you are setting records for yourself, and you even have some records maybe that you want to set for next year in mind already. So that we'll start with a great fourth quarter that is something to beat in the first quarter of next year. Start there, okay? If you want to start setting some records, set one this quarter to beat next quarter, okay? Start that record setting process. It's going to be something I'm going to continue to drill into you guys, okay? So looking at this constriction, then this expansion, yeah, Bitcoin's kind of up to something. We agree? Slightly. We don't see these regularly. You guys know, and we will notice these or note these at an angle where we have normally somewhat of a, and you guys have seen this in the back consistently. We pay a lot of attention to the patterns when we see a bit of we'll see a descending wedge that formulates into what? That formulates into an expansion, one of the bell pattern formations that we love to trade. So we're always on the lookout when we see, let's pay attention to this, we're always on the lookout when we see the specific I do the bell so much I forget where the triangle is half the time, and I shouldn't. I just have to admit that to you guys. And I just swear, I think it seems like TradingView has changed these around, and I know they haven't. I had a favorites bar, and it's just gone. I lose that bell, and it's like I lose everything. It used to be the scuba mask that I lost all the time. You guys know that, right? Don't worry about it if you're hunting for your tools. I do it too, even live. But we see this all the time. You guys agree? We feel better about this move when we see a descending triangle, then that expansion pickup, the volatility kick up, bam. This is our classic bow tie. Right? We call it a bow tie in the back, because what else are you going to call this thing? I don't know, guys. It's a descending triangle, or, you know, hybrid down into, or probably a descending wedge into an expansion, a bell pattern expansion. We'll call that a bell. We rock the bells in VIP. You guys know that. We just rocked one down here. But looking at that, we have a lateral constriction expansion, not necessarily the type of expansion that we're going to be attracted to. We agree? We agree. It's just a little bit odd. Bitcoin's up to something. I'm on record. Guys, we look at this technically quite a bit. Bitcoin's kind of up to something right now. Bottom line, okay? Bottom line, Bitcoin's up to something. So let's look at the 37.5. Let's recognize we have a bit of odd technicals in play. Bottom line, we have some 20 moving averages. Look like they're incoming in terms of the 30 and some other time frames that we'll certainly dig into. Let's look at the 4 hourly and just kind of visit any of the key focals that need to be kind of addressed. You guys think that's a good idea? Let's do that real quickly. Let me make sure that we're in and we have a good set of our indicators in play on the 4 hourly. Yeah, let's take a look at that specific 20 moving average on the 4 hourly is a critical level of concern and confluent with that lower pro line. Yes, let's look at that lower pro line. Let me see where my capital control line is right now. I hate to throw that green line. I don't want you guys just to overdo it on the, I try and not always show the results on something, because I don't want you just to hammer into something without really doing the additional considerations that are required. So the capital line is in question right now. Good reminder to what, guys? Always operate with stop losses. Always operate with stop losses. The tighter your stop losses are, the bad part is you're not going to have as many trades. The good part is what? You're not going to lose. So if you can get the equation down, you're going to lose, but guys, it's going to hurt a lot less if you can get the equation down of increasing your precision, laser guided, scope it out and make it precise. Those are the best trades in the market. We know this. So find your targets. Guys, buy at support, sell at resistance. Yeah. Trade your patterns and hit your targets. That's the bottom line. Pay attention to that specific 4 hourly. The 4 hourly lower pro, upper pro, green buy line and golden short have paid very well. So let's pay attention to that. I want to show you one more chart if I can bring it in here. This was something that I showed VIP earlier today, and it was nice. It was a blackjack move, just so that we go through what is important to us, okay? And I have some lines on here in terms of the specific double bottom. You guys see that double bottom? In terms of the candle action on the 1 hourly, we had this, started the day off, boom, moved to the downside from the double bottom. That's the 2. You guys got that? That's the 2. We call it blackjack, double bottom. We had a single pass through. That's the 1, right? We had the 2, 1, 21. We had blackjack, single pass through, and boom, up and through that descending triangle, which scares everybody out of the woods. You guys know everybody, all the bulls go running. We get involved at the lower levels. 1% drop had a much higher percent rise to the upside. What was that? Overall, we experienced a 3% rise to the upside. And I'll just encourage you that that's a nice trade day, right? We see that reconfirmation really along that top level line. It's got a little catchy in here with some dojis, etc. It was like a hammer did set before we popped to the downside. But just pay attention to blackjack and classify your trades in terms of the setups you really like on the micro and the macro, the ones you really are willing to hit, the ones that you're kind of like, well, you know, it seems like some of these you'll realize I could talk an hour about these. I could talk for an hour about these, right? You could go through the technicals for an hour. And there's that much conflict in what you're choosing to trade. If you want to hit one trade a day, okay, I don't know many of you that are that disciplined. Maybe you shouldn't be that disciplined. I know you guys like to trade. It's part of our 100 rounds training. It's part of what you guys are built to do. Just never overexpose at any higher price or any specific one trade. Tight stop losses. Let's get through fourth quarter and look back and say, yes, we did it. Okay, so be discriminating about your patterns. Make sure guys, that you're following the rules. That's the bottom line. Let's follow the rules in terms of capital exposure. When things start racing to the upside, it can just be one of those situations where you get a little bit looser. You want to play fast and loose. And I'll just encourage you to maintain the strictness, the discipline that got us to this level. If you'll do that, we'll have a phenomenal residual of the fourth quarter, and we will have a much better 2024. Okay, we'll have a better 2024 if you can continue to hold tight and discipline yourself into this market, especially when things are starting to move. Be very discerning about when you're deciding to go heavier. And guys, I'll try and give you as much input technically as I can see with the trade ops that we're bringing. This is London with Bitcoin Spiker VIP Trader. Hats off to all the VIP. We'll talk to you soon. Take care and great trade day. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.